ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸਿੱਖ ਚੈਨਲ ਦੇ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕੋ, ਸਿੱਖ ਚੈਨਲ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ। ਸਰਦੂਲ ਸਿੰਘ ਮਾਲਵਾ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਜੀ ਆਇਆਂ। I would like to take you back on the corona issue when Sikhs and other people with a beard couldn't wear a mask, and there was a problem that some of those people were taken from the front line and put up into the other jobs. And that issue was taken up by Dr. Rajinder Singh ji, and he came up with a technique. And ever since, that issue has been gone worldwide. There were other places where the people have been sacked, namely in Toronto, because they couldn't wear a mask over the beard. And Dr. Rajinder ji is back with me today, and let's welcome him, and then we take this discussion further. Dr. ji, Vaheguru Khalsa, Vaheguru Ki Fateh. Welcome to the Sikh channel.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਸਰਦੂਲ ਜੀ ਐਂਡ ਸਾਰੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਿਆਰ ਭਰੀ ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਤੇ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਫਤਿਹ ਜੀ। ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਸੋ ਮਚ for calling me to the show to discuss about this important topic.
And so when we last, I think it must have been about 12 months ago when we talked about this. And so where are we at with the Health and Safety Council in UK and worldwide, Australia, Canada, America? All people had problems who were Sikhs, or certainly people who had beards. So where are we at this now?
So thanks. So we did have a peer-reviewed publication where the SIKH Channel technique was published in the same journal which advocated that shaving was required to do a fit test. As an answer, we said you don't have to shave. You can cover it with a thata and fit a mask over it. And the study was published. After that, recently, another study has been published by New South Wales, Australia Sikh group in the same journal, where they have 80% success using 30 volunteers and quantitative fit testing was done. And this pass rate is higher than standard. So we have got a strong body of evidence that supports it. Two things. One is that the problem about respirator mask is just not limited to the healthcare industry anymore. It has come to the notice that recently in Toronto, the security guards were asked to leave their jobs because that required them to face to put a respirator mask, and because of beard they couldn't. And I have just been told that the government, the Toronto local authority, has overturned that decision. They have reinstated them, and they have quoted the SIKH Channel as a solution, and they have accepted the SIKH Channel technique as an alternative to cover the beard and then put a mask over. So that's a huge success. And I would like to thank Sukhpal ji, for president of Sikh Doctor Dentist Association, to have helped us conduct this study. The problem, therefore, is with the UK borders. The problem is with the prisons, with fire and safety, police, in several sectors where industrial pollution is required and you are supposed to wear this mask. So we are having no doubt about the scientific validity of it. In terms of where we have progressed, that's a bit of a disappointment. Although the Toronto people have accepted it, in New South Wales, the NHS England equivalent of New South Wales, Australia, have overturned the decision and accepted the technique. So now those doctors are able to wear using our technique. But unfortunately, in the United Kingdom, we are still negotiating with the health and safety executive, who wanted more evidence from us. I have recently sent them the last publication, which has come from the New South Wales group, as further evidence which supports the study. And we really hope that this works. And I have started a petition in change.org. And I should be very grateful, Jay, if through your viewers the message could kindly be sent out, if as many people could participate, and then we can raise this question into the parliament. In fact, I had also taken this to Sajid Javid personally and given him all the pertinent details, and he had promised that he would try and look into it. But unfortunately, as you know, there is political turmoil going on right now, and he has resigned.
I'll come back to the petition in a moment, Dr. Saab. So when we as situation with the Toronto, okay, they have reversed that decision, and Australia, you've been successful. Why there's still a problem in the UK, where you actually started and you actually worked through the pandemic, and you given them the in your hospital and other places, given them that, and you also, as you said, the health secretary Sajid Javid, who is no longer as secretary, but you can obviously give it to the new one. And why is it that these people still questioning the tried and tested technique which you have presented?
This is a brilliant question, and I think this is going to nail it. The answer is going to nail it. The problem the health and safety executive was saying is that when these masks were made, the respirator masks, the FFP3, N95, the manufacturers have put in their guidances that in order to wear this and go for a fit test, the wearer should have a clean shaven face.
Right.
The HSE is saying because it has been put in the manufacturer's guidelines, we cannot
Mm,
change it.
right.
Our query was that they have not subjected those guidelines to equality impact assessment. So
Mm,
those are discriminatory, number one. But at the end of the day, the HSE unfortunately saying that because it is guidance made by them, we cannot overturn it.
right.
What you can do is you can go to innovations or you can make your own mask and create the specific guidelines, and then we can look into that. That's what they are saying. Now,
Mm,
how the Australians have overcome is this: the NHS England equivalent of Australia, what they said was that the manufacturers have only given guidelines, they are not
mm,
rules.
right.
And
Right.
in a situation of a pandemic, we have to show flexibility and to be cultural competent. And given the fact that there is scientific evidence that covering it with a beard cover works, they have overturned the manufacturer's guidelines and they have shown cultural competency. Whereas that particular thing hasn't been done by the HSE, which we are requesting them to do. They have asked for more evidence, and now I have given them another set of evidence based on the new publication by the New South Wales, where 30 more people have subjected to quantitative testing. And I don't know how much more robustness we can add to the evidence. I think we just need them to be compassionate and look into this now.
Yeah, but then the manufacturers do manufacture certain things and they give the guidelines, but the law or the decision makers, the politicians, or even the officers, they should look into what you are presenting rather than looking at the manufacturer's guidelines, and where manufacturer guidelines are only going to make for the majority of people who don't have beards or don't wear turbans and things. They're not looking into every aspect of the human being's requirement, are they?
Correct. So there are two aspects to it, and you have absolutely nailed it by saying that the manufacturers do not cater to the minorities. And not surprisingly, equality impact assessment wasn't done. And there are two aspects. One of them is a safety. There is scientific publication at the moment which has established the safety of the procedure. Not only one, there are two publications in peer reviewed journals.
Mm,
So, compared to one publication by them, which shows that the beard has to be shaved, but they are not using a beard cover off. That's one
mm,
thing. And the second thing is whether or not the manufacturer guidelines can be overturned. And you are quite right. I think that the NHS England has the power to overturn it because the same thing was done in New South Wales. And if the NHS England isn't able to, certainly the government, the parliament should be able to overturn it because there
yes,
is precedence. The New South Wales have done it. Some of the Western Australian provinces have also accepted it. It has gone to New Zealand, I'm told, and they are looking at it. And now, quite recently in Toronto, also, the city government has overturned it. So, safety is never a question. It is just a matter about complying with the manufacturer guideline, which was probably not made keeping into mind the minorities without, without the equality impact assessment, and also the fact that we have an answer to those manufacturers in a scientific way. We don't have to share, we can cover it. And now the more important thing here is we are not asking anybody to do it unsafely. We are not
Mm,
saying please use the SIKH Tata and you will get a pass certificate. No, all
no.
we are saying is allow us to wear the SIKH Tata and subject to a fit test, and let the
Yes.
fit test itself decide whether or not it is safe for the wearer. And I don't
Oh,
see what's the problem with that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So the one point I like to raise with you, over the years, I mean, I'm talking about decades ago, when we had the Sikh issue of bus conductors or motorcyclists, and all those things were brought into, and the law was changed. In any way, has any Sikh organization, Gurdwaras, come to your aid, if I can use that word, or have tried to give you a support, or have you asked for a support that where the local MPs and the government can be taken to task on this?
Yes, unfortunately, I have tried to approach some of our community members, MPs, but I think I haven't had a great response as yet from them.
Mm,
In terms of Gurdwara, as I mentioned, Sukhpal ji, who is the president of Sikh Doctor and Dentist Association, he has come aboard and helped us conduct the study, and I owe my gratitude to him for his help.
mm,
It is very important that this becomes a worldwide issue because, as I have humbly submitted to you, that this problem is simply not affecting the healthcare industry. Actually, there
mm,
was an incident in California a few years ago where Kamala Harris, now the vice president, she was attorney general and she was not able to reinstate a Sikh gentleman who was not considered for a job that required him to wear a mask because he was bearded. And we
mm,
have tweeted with Gurch Randhawa to her that now we do have a solution to make it safer. So, in fact, this discrimination is affecting a large number of bearded community of Muslim, Jews, Sikhs who are silently bearing this discrimination because many of them do not even know that there is a solution actually when there is one.
mm, mm, mm. So I think the task have to be taken to the government, UK or worldwide for that matter. And I think we need to do that. But now we come to your petition, which you have started, and on that petition, you're asking people to sign so that petition can be presented to the government and say, this is the issue. And that is one way of convincing the government, and it is on change.org. Can you just tell us about the petition? What is the petition is about, and how people can access it on change.org, obviously. But we're asking through the Sikh channel to people to sign this petition on your WhatsApp groups and come on the change.org and sign the petition. Can you tell us about the petition, please, first?
Yes. So the petition that I have put in the change.org is about wearing a respirator mask uh, uh, using the SING Tata technique. And it has been shared to several WhatsApp groups. It is on my personal Facebook, it's on LinkedIn, and it's also on Twitter, where several Sikh organizations have already been tagged, including the Sikh Council, the World Sikh Council, the Gurdwaras, almost more than 40 or 50 of the Sikh institutions worldwide, Toronto, United Kingdom, Australia, everybody has been tagged, and the petition is quite very much there. And what we are asking in that petition is for the obviously the UK government to consider it. And the point is very simple, that allow us to wear that thing Tata and subject ourselves to a fit test and let the fit test decide whether or not we can pass or fail. Other than making a decision beforehand that you have got to shave, because we do have fail rates for both clean shaven, and even in our studies there have been some people who have failed, which actually shows that the process is good. It's just not giving everybody a pass rate by default, and it is scientifically valid.
We've had problems in the past, Dr. Saab, with the petitions. People uh, I don't know why people don't put pen to paper or don't go online, and they will just look at, if you get a piece of paper in the gurdwaras, and they will obviously sign it there and then. For a technical point of view, people do not do that, because we have tried before on number of petitions, and we actually gone into the gurdwaras to promote it, and then we had people to signing it. So because either people are illiterate of the technology there is, and we might have to print this petition in bulk and probably take it to the Gurdwara. Let's see how far we go if we have to do that, because it's a very, very important issue for the Sikhs, and that we conquer this, because if we don't, for the future, the health and safety executive or the government, they will just follow what the manufacturers are doing, and they will, just keep on going, and they will not look at it and won't change the law.
Yes, and I agree with you. The worrisome thing is that here we are having a strong scientific evidence that this technique works and is cultural competent, and despite that, we are facing discrimination and the law is not being changed, the rules are not being changed, and that's a worrisome trend. And you're quite right, because when I saw the dashboard, it looks like there have been 400 views, but only 55 people have signed. So clearly, there is probably some technical barrier or other reasons why people are not able to go on to put a signature onto that, because sometimes when you sign it, it will ask you to go back to your email to verify it, and after
Yeah.
that it will ask you either to put a £1 or reshare it in a social platform, which is what people can do. They need not pay a pound, but they can share it to few other people on their Facebook or WhatsApp accounts, which should work. So some degree of dedication will be required for the sake of the community, because if this is solved, if the HSE accepts it, and being the UK innovators, we lead the whole thing in a nice way with the blessings of the Guru, then the outcome is going to benefit a large number of Sikhs, Muslims, Jews worldwide, for so many segments where they are not even being shortlisted for jobs right now.
I'll ask our people, technical people, if they can put this petition on the Sikh channel website, and then people can access from there. And also people who are watching this program, and they can go on change.org and sign it there. If not, and if they would contact us, and then we can probably get the whole petition printed and put it in the Gurdwara. That's the next stage. I certainly will put it on my Facebook page that people can access. They can sign it from all over the world. They don't have to just sign from the UK, because it's an issue which is going to affect all the Sikhs worldwide. And I think it's a very important point that people actually sign this petition. Hanji.
Sadhulji, more than six, it is the Muslim community who have been affected. You will not know that I have had several emails from bearded young Muslims who were quite anxious, and because they were given the choice that you will have to shave if you want to have a fit test.
Yeah,
And a large number of so it would be useful to have this also taken to mosques and the Muslim community through
yeah.
our brotherhood channels and connections with them.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's very important. We will try and promote it as much as we can through the Sikh channel. And from personal point of view, obviously, I will share it on Facebook, WhatsApp. People are from all over the world, especially in India and US, Canada. People are all members of. There's hundreds of people on WhatsApp thing. I think once they start to sign this, and I think it should be a matter of days that we should be into figures that we can be presented to the government. So anything else on this issue that you would like to throw people's attention to, that how they can help?
No, I think that the most important thing is for us to be aware that there is probably a barrier for certain kind of jobs for the bearded Sikh Muslim Jewish community in several industrial sectors which require you to wear respirator masks. And then after that, they need to be aware that there is a solution at the moment which is scientifically valid and has been accepted in some parts of the world. And it's a collective community effort of all of us, Sikhs, Muslims, Jews together, or even the non-faith observant bearded who don't want to shave, for everyone. It is just to know that there is a solution of common sense which has been overlooked. And with the blessings of the Guru, we have a technique which works, and let's get success through our collective effort, and Guru keep us in Chardhi Kala.
ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਹੁਣ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ, ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਪ੍ਰਬੰਧਕ ਸੱਜਣ ਜਾਂ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਡਾਕਟਰਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਮੇਲ ਨਰਸਿਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦਾੜੀ ਕੇਸ ਦਸਤਾਰ ਸਜਾਈ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਅਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਸਕ ਪਾਉਣ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਇਹ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਖੜ੍ਹਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਹ ਹੈਲਥ ਐਂਡ ਸੇਫਟੀ ਐਗਜ਼ੈਕਟਿਵ ਵੱਲੋਂ, ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਮਾਸਕ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਹਵਾ ਅੰਦਰ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ। ਸੋ ਇਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਮਦਦ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ, ਅਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਚਾਹਾਂਗੇ ਕਿ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਬੰਧਕ ਇਹ ਅਪਰੋਚ ਕਰਨ, ਸਿੱਖ ਚੈਨਲ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ, ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਟੀਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਇਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਸਾਈਨ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਹ ਗੌਰਮੈਂਟ ਨੂੰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਜਾਵੇ। ਅਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਟਸਐਪ ਗਰੁੱਪ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਕਰੋ ਅਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਪਟੀਸ਼ਨ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਲਿੰਕ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਭੇਜ ਕੇ, ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਹਜ਼ਾਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਲੱਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਈਨ ਹੋਵੇ, ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਜਨਰੇਸ਼ਨ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਨੌਜਵਾਨ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਬਣ ਰਹੇ ਹੈਗੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹੋ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਹ ਮੁੜ ਕੇ ਨਾ ਆਵੇ। ਤੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਇਹ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਹੁਣਾਂ ਨੇ ਜੋ ਕੰਮ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈਗਾ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਫਾਈਨਲੀ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਦਿਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਅਵਾਰਡ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ, ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੋ, ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਮਾਪਤੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਹਾਂ।
ਜੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਜੀ। ਅਵਾਰਡ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਾਜਿਦ ਜਾਵੇਦ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਸੀ for devising the Singh Tata technique which allows us to wear respirator mask without shaving। ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਚੀਜ਼ ਪਬਲਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ, ਤੇ ਐਂਡ ਐਟ ਦ ਸੇਮ ਟਾਈਮ ਮੈਂ ਮੈਨਚੈਸਟਰ ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੰਸਲਟੈਂਟ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਸਪਲਾਂਟ ਸਰਜਨ ਹਾਂ, and also because we have done the largest number of transplants in Europe, so I think it was a collective effort ਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਫੈਲੀਸੀਟੇਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਅਵਾਰਡ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਸੀ ਹਾਊਸ ਆਫ ਲਾਰਡਸ 'ਚ। I am grateful to them, thank you, and to you as well, thank you।
ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧਾਈਆਂ ਹੋਣ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਹ ਟੈਕਨੀਕ ਵੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਆ, ਤੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਮਾਪਤੀ ਹੈ। ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਹੈਗਾ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹ ਟੈਕਨੀਕ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਆ, ਤੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰੈਸ ਦੇ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਤੇ ਇਹ ਪਟੀਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਾਡੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਹੱਥ ਬੰਨ੍ਹ ਕੇ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਵੀ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਵੀ ਜਲਦੀ ਇਸ ਪਟੀਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਲੈ ਸਕੀਏ, ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੈਜ਼ੈਂਟ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਹ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਹੈਗਾ ਹੈਲਥ ਐਂਡ ਸੇਫਟੀ ਐਗਜ਼ੈਕਟਿਵ ਦਾ, ਉਹ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਰਿਜ਼ੋਲਵ ਕਰ ਸਕੀਏ। ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ। ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਮਾਪਤੀ ਆ। ਫਿਰ ਅਗਲੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੱਕ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੀ ਗਲਤੀ ਰਹਿ ਗਈ ਹੋਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਮਾਫ ਕਰ ਦੇਣਾ। ਅਗਲੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਤੱਕ ਦਿਓ ਆਗਿਆ, ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁਆਇਨ, ਫਿਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਹੋਵਾਂਗਾ। ਵਿਦਾਇਗੀ ਦੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਬੁਲਾਓ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।